Test. Test. There we go. Hey, Slim, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Not much. I'm gonna switch over to the stream channel. I'm streaming.
We're gonna stream when I sound like I got a dick in my nose.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright.
Yeah, they've also got a a tournament event starting at 5 today. Trick is to try to hit 2 of them at once. We can do it just right, like that. All right. Let's see here. Pop out. There we go. No, I am not playing Rust. Conan Exiles. Save. There we go. Whew, can't see shit. Yep, that's not even a rock. Wait, is this? Hey, there we go. Got some ironstone. You know what? I'm tired of not being able to see. There we go. I am not over encumbered. Haha. Forgive me. I'm tired.
I know, we gotta go to the store. Make a sandwich. Okay.
There's plenty to eat.
Okay.
Alright. Only got 1,000 so far. Jeez.
You can have oodles and noodles, you can make a sandwich. Alright, well, I'm giving you options. It's not my problem you don't want them.
Oh, I need to eat. How you doing over there, Slim? He's still in his private call. What a nerd.
I'm not actually playing at the moment.
Oh. You're not playing?
I mean, I am playing, but I'm not, like, in the game at the moment. I'm doing
Oh.
something.
Are you looking at midgets again?
Of course. You know me.
Oh, time to repair. Their base is so badass.
Who?
Grimm's base. The one on the fucking... on the top of God's Claw.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
Be quiet. Kinda surprised there isn't very many people on. Usually there's a lot more people on. No, I should turn that off.
Dude, I so love having 50 encumbrance. Literally just fucking never stop farming. What? Go ahead, I don't care. You can have popcorn.
You can wait. Go. You know Jade is making it. That's why you came
Oh.
out. You have to wait. Just fucking hold on the road.
Oh boy.
I love being a dog. If you don't strike him out, I'm gonna slap him. Like, seriously, I walked in the room and you follow me in and run him out. Just one chance. Stop. Now. The worst time in the world to stream. You're on all night when all the kids are sleeping and you don't stream. I don't want my kids streaming online.
When it comes to me, like for me, like my final build is gonna have the +3 to vitality, +3 to the strength that uses the mead. So it's just extra stats for me.
back from a long trip of silk hunting. Pelts. Yeah, I'm running the base now because my kid wants me to sit with him. Darn it, hold on, let me get to the safe base. I'll catch you later.
There, yeah. Hey, are you coming? Come to the council. Are you in? Come to the council. It's on Teleth Island. There's a council of all the major clans. And then there's a Discord. Let me see if I can get the invite if it'll let me. Copy. There we go. That's the Discord. This isn't like a military alliance or anything. This is just like, this is the UN. This is the UN. You know what I mean? So there's, but it's best to be in it because that's where I think the RP is going to be driven. You know what I mean? So pop on over and walk.
Northmen as well. What about them?
That'd be Arts.
Okay, Art's here.
I dragged him over. I said, "Get your ass over here."
Calidor's here.
Calidor, their leader's not on, and Praetor refuses to do politics, so I will deal with ROK personally.
Okay, 10-4.
I already have a...
All right. My guys are watching Banter stream, so they didn't want to come up and interrupt.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Hi, boys.
Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys' clanmates want to like listen in on the meeting, tell them my stream's open. I'm gonna stream it. If that's not a problem with everybody.
What's the link to the stream?
Twitch.tv/familybanter.
Plus, that also means it's recorded, so we can go back.
What's the other Twitch? I got Banters.
And if you haven't already, drop a follow or a sub on both parties there.
Momo's are gonna sell out.
Yes, yeah. I'll do it for you. You know what I mean?
If you've got Twitch Prime, you can just click that button on Twitch Prime and sub to your favorite streamer.
Someone is watching Ninja.
Subscribe to my paragraph.
So before we get into politics, what I want to do, being that we're gonna have the event today, I really want to get that event going where we put up the mock bases and have like we could set up brackets, so sort of like a league, like it'll be 1v1 tribe versus tribe. You'll get like a set amount of materials to build at a tier 1. You'll get 1 treb each and say like between 5 and 10 bombs. Remember the capture the flag thing you guys have brought up?
Yeah.
I really want to get that going. I feel like that because people, I think it's very peaceful and people want the PvP, but if it's very organized like that and people aren't taking down buildings like this beautiful thing here, I think that needs to get going like ASAP.
Well,
I think that'll be fun as hell.
Well, I was
doing a little bit of scouting for it. Over there by your arena, there's like 5 different mounds of dirt that like you could build bases on, and so like you could choose your base, and then like say if we decided to say a mock war, we could be like, well, okay, so you have 5 hours or 3 hours to build your base, and then we start, or you know you have 3 hours, and then the next day we'll start, or something like that, because you know it gives it more of a challenge too, just instead of because tier 1, I'm sorry, Bast, I'll go through tier 1 in 2 minutes, not even with my pickaxe. So. You got to make it a little challenging, no?
So tier 2, you want to do like insulated wood, being that it's really cheap to do?
Yeah, I mean that at least a little better.
Yeah, I think tier 3 would be a little much if you're gonna limit the bombs and the trev and stuff like that. You know what I mean? That would be the only thing, is just making sure that everyone has the same amount of mats. I could probably do that. I have enough iron to provide that for everybody. If after the meeting here, I could go start cooking iron reinforcements, and we could divvy up each tribe that wants to participate, get the brackets written down in Discord, and I guess pick numbers on your stream or something to like what tribe faces what tribe on, you know what I mean?
Well, I was gonna suggest maybe next we can set up, because Grizz, I love Grizz's idea of that capture the flag like War Sun Gulch.
It was amazing, yeah.
So
amazing.
I was gonna suggest that maybe for the next event we do that as the War Sun Gulch event, and
Yeah.
I can go down and try and set up basically like a mock War Sun Gulch base. So you know it had the ramp coming up from the bottom. It had a little raised area on the side and the main area in front. Like I can try and make that up real quick and see what everybody thinks, and then maybe that can be our next event, is the capture the flag.
Yeah,
Well, the only reason why you would want the bases to be built by the clans themselves, so they can repair.
yeah, but no, I think he's talking about a totally separate like type of
Oh,
event
okay.
where it's like not bases. It's just essentially go into
It'd
the
be
base, get the flag, place the flag at your base, kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be a super simple, you know, super simple base design, just tier 1, really, you know, can farm the mats up in 5 minutes. Just make it that you can defend your flag and, you know, just simple. Oh, somebody just fell.
Who died?
So, Havoc, you're talking about that would just essentially be like 3v3 or 5v5, just PvP, capture the flag.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I'll get cooking on the mats for the base one, like the base rating stuff.
I can help with the mats as well, fast. So.
Okay. Yeah, because I got a ton of iron, so I can start cooking the iron, and I think I do have a lot of insulated wood as well. We just got to come up with a number of what you guys think is fair for, like, as far as mats. Like, okay, here you go. Here's what you have to build with.
Well, I think that's something that, you know, the builders should get up on it and, like, you know, be able to, you know, so we can each come up with a different number, because everybody wants to be able to build their own little style of base. So if we can calculate a good number between.
Kind of like playing Magic here. You get these cards to play with. Now build your base and go.
Yeah, but, you know, we want to have the same amount. So, but, you know, we want to be able to give the opportunity for those, you know, your people to build your own style of base.
Yeah, exactly.
Sage, you're in here, correct?
Yeah, it'd be a limited amount of tiles. Right. We would probably say something like, we'll say, like, I'm just a stupid number, but I'm saying 100 tiles. You have 100 tiles to build your base. I know it's a lot, but.
But wouldn't you put like a time limit on? Okay, here's your good.
Hey.
You got 20 minutes to build your tower. Go. 30-minute mark, you know, probably gonna be the end because it'll take. So I knocked this major priest. She's not a high priest.
Just kill her.
Right? I knocked her out with one shot. Came running at me. I had it out. But I was, oops.
I have the meat charge. I just need a Yogg and a Set.
Just checking. Like I said, first thing I saw was priest. I was like, thwack.
Is Nomad here?
Mm.
And Sumerian? Is Sumerian here?
Sumerian's not here. I don't think Nomad's here either. If you saw online, Ivan is doing stuff with the wife.
I can see you, Exiles.
I don't know. Can Silver represent?
I don't know. I don't know them. The only person I know from them really is Ivan. Oops. I brought my grape juice.
Lois, you check out my little hut. I finally finished it yesterday.
Oh, say that again?
I finally finished my hut up in the north here.
Did you?
Hope everyone likes it. Yeah, I need hop seeds though, because I'm putting plants out front, and I gotta enclose the balcony.
You know, I might have some. I don't know how many I have.
They're right outside. I could just pick them, but okay. I was tired last night, didn't finish, so.
Yeah. Whenever you get after the meeting, whatever, there's a specific armor I need. For whatever, I had two. I gave you guys one for a trade, and then my other one disappeared, so. Mad about it.
Yeah, I'll check. I know Kay's been kind of busy because he's going to Utah Monday for work for a few days. So I got to see what the stock is, and I've kind of been trying to build up here.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
All right. Well, I think everybody's here that's going to be here, so why don't we get down to business?
Okay.
If the others wish to join in, you know, at another meeting, that's cool. They can, and we'll just sort of fill them in from that point.
To know the past, child, is to avoid the same mistakes in the future.
Well, so where do we want to begin? I mean, we know we have the tournament this afternoon. We're hoping that goes peacefully, and I think that people are excited about it. Obviously, we want to put more events along on the table. We've already discussed some of them, you know, but we want to open up the floor to any of the other plans as well. If you guys have any other ideas, you know, let's get it done. Let's have more events.
I think if anybody's been paying attention to the server population the past few days, it's way down. So one of the things I'd like for us to, you know, come up with, you know, ideas or whatever, is trying to get that server population back up. Now, it would be a good thing because Kang wanted to knock it back down to 50, so we're well within that limit. But you know, we want 50 people online. You know, makes things more interesting.
I think the biggest thing is, I know between talking with a lot of my viewers and new people that are coming onto the server, people are looking for not necessarily like a completely safe place, but just a nice place to where they're not stressing out about their buildings all the time. You know, they can get built up, get leveled up, and you know, the offline rating. People are looking for some RP, and you know, I'm definitely looking for some RP. And you know, and that's gonna be what's gonna draw the server, and also with the streamers that are here, you know, if we'll get our viewers. No, it's all good. I just people are looking for a fun, safe place to play where it's not toxic, like. And, you know, that's one thing. It's like you in the chat, even if it's toxic, it makes people go away because like they don't want to live in a negative environment, you know. And I think most of us here are adults and get along, you know.
I think some of the go ahead. Well, so here's something that, you know, a structural thing that you guys should keep in mind. The reason why when I brought my group over here, there was two things that appealed to me about this server. One was the RP nature of it, and the second was the wipe date. Now, I'm not in favor of wiping this again, but be aware, the type of player that you're trying to attract to this server is not the person who keeps looking at that date as the only reason they come here. So I think that the reason the population is down now is a lot of the guys I've talked to around the server have said, oh, well, I came in and, you know, real life caught up with me and everybody's so far ahead, so when they wipe again, I'll come back. There's this idea that once it's fresh and they have a quote unquote fair chance, they'll come back. So our solution has to do is overcome that mindset. I guess I'm going to call that the Rust mentality, but that mindset.
I think one mindset would be to do is that, you know, those of us who are 60, there's no, like, besides going to find specific thralls, there's no reason for us to be in the South. You know, allow the younger crowd to be able to have the opportunity to get geared out, get leveled up, and they're not worried about us 60s coming down there and beating the crap out of them, you know, and raiding them and stuff like that. Like, us bigger clans here, you know, if we want to fight, we need to fight each other. We don't need to fight somebody new on the server. We're not going to get anything out of that. It's not even worth our mats. You know?
I agree with that.
What about making an agreement that when people join the server, as long as they're south of the river, there's going to be no raiding?
Well, what I was going to suggest is maybe, because obviously Kang's part of this council, maybe we go to Kang and get him to put something in the title, like, you know, something about the lower levelers are going to be safe coming into this server up until a certain point.
I'm going to tell you just he can't do that. Not because he can't, but it's going to take out useful information to put something
Okay.
like that in there. He already is trying to get. If you look at the name, he's got like RP name required, since that's a big thing that was on there. Or read messages.
But it's not
he
been
just doesn't have
enforced,
space.
like the thing with the RP name is that we have, like, there's nobody enforcing it anymore because the admins aren't active on the server, and that's what calls for the council that we have here. Because yes, King will do stuff for us, but he's not in game all the time. And his other admins, I've never seen them online since the wipe. So,
Yeah, I think from what I've heard from King is that a lot of them are probably burned out of having to deal with the constant, like the abandoned buildings thing. I think a lot of them got called to do shit like that, which I will point out is a problem. And having admin servers, and I'm sure some of you guys have yourselves. I think the problem was that they put in the decay system and they did the wipe to fix the problem of the admins having to constantly be called to remove structures. And if anything, if you look at the server Discord, that's just gone up. For the first two or 3 days, people were reporting any structure they didn't like as a potentially offensive structure, and then those guys are probably getting burned out of, oh, who's complaining now kind of thing. So
Right.
maybe something that we all can agree on is wherever these, let's say, new people in the server are, we kind of instill in them, do not place buildings or take down buildings. Once you leave the starting area, remove your building. Or
Exactly.
we'll have, right? So that it's not that, somebody has to say, oh, this guy's blocking and that kind of shit.
I think anything we come up with shouldn't be a, hey, let's go to Kang and make it some kind of official rule. I think if we develop anything, and I don't want to call them rules, maybe like a culture. If we develop a culture of anything, I don't want it to be a cry to the admin culture. I want it to be, we say, who wants to do something about it? And then the coalition of the willing handle it. If there's some guild raiding lobbies, just a grief, instead of going to the admins and being like, these guys are griefers. We get together, not necessarily a military alliance, but like to enforce a particular kind of culture. Not like you attacked one of ours, because they wouldn't be. They'd be some lobby that comes in and they start getting zero bombed in their T1, and then we could do something about it. Like if it's some level 60 beating on a level 20 in their T1 structure, we go and teach them a lesson. Not like infinity, but like a good solid, hey, there are people bigger than you.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing about the council. What I thought, is what we need to do. Because, I mean, all of us up here all have the firepower to take anybody on, okay? And we want to create a culture and a community that even, like, some of us streamers, we can bring our viewers in, and they can have that space to be able to play and not feel worried. And then if a guild doesn't want to participate or just want to be complete jackasses, well, then they don't need to play with us. And we just, as a war council, be like, here's your warning. You either, play nicely. We don't want you to not play the game, but there's no reason to go raid lobbies and shit like that. If you don't want to comply, then piss off.
So from previous experiences on Ark and whatnot, what I've seen these kind of councils generate into is one of two things. It can either become what I call the model UN, which is kind of what I'm happy to hear what we're talking about now, or it degenerates into this kind of like cool kids group where if you're not on this group, and this is what Kang I think mentioned, was if you're not a member of it, we need to open it up to everybody. And I think we've made a good showing to try to include everybody.
Absolutely, it's got to be open membership to the whole server.
What I fear though is much like the real UN, it's going to be us as a group collectively dealing with problems, kind of like what we're talking about with ROK versus some of the like solos or ones and twos out there. Basically, the like mid-level tribes like the 40s and 50s against the 20s and 30s.
Well,
that's usually where it goes.
Let me touch on the ROK situation, because I did go down there and have a private hour and a half long conversation with them, and they're not as villainous as they're made out to. A lot of false shit came out up on them. Yes, they did raid a couple people, but those couple people were griefing them, building buildings in the spot that they were trying to build. They had people coming in just taking stuff that they had set up to build. Like the Scrab situation, that got a Scrab basically called their base freaking ugly, like in world chat, and didn't want to RP it, and they were trying to RP it to begin with, and then Scrab went lunatic on them. And well, at that point, if it was me, I would have done the same thing. I would have said, well, if you want to fucking talk shit and you want to make us in the bad light, then fine, so be it. And that's what ended up happening. Now, the other guild that they were fighting was G2A, but that G2A was killing anybody in the jungle on sight. So, they were dealing with that situation. But because they were having to deal with their own drama, and then it got spread on the servers because people are wine bags because they have the members and are able to do what they want down there. They got painted them in a bad light, and all of us, since we don't deal with them very often, just all we saw was the negativity.
Now, sorry, finish and I'll continue.
So, I mean, I understand what they said, but they also told me that they'll be like, look, we want to they want to RP. As a clan, they want to be an RP clan. They don't really care about, they don't want to offline raid. They don't want to do any of that. They would prefer it to be role play, more eccentric. And they totally said they would agree to anything that we agreed on the council. So, and then I'll continue talking with them, but they're totally on board with what we're trying to do.
Hey,
Now,
can everybody stand up real quick? Our kids see us.
Okay, now with ROK, we've had our own dealings with them, so there are always two sides to every story.
Exactly.
And they're painting themselves in a certain light, and us here in Lone Echo, we've seen them on the other side because... Sorry, one sec. I didn't want to cough in everybody's ear. So there was a thrall base being set up at the bottom of the stairs, which that's cool. Doesn't matter. That's not our land. The stairs are there for ease of access to get up and down from the ship and blah, blah, blah. So I was running by, just was curious as to who was building it. So ran up to the door, saw that it was Realm of Kalendor, jumped on the roof and was just looking at the guy who was up there. And it was Odin something. O something. And immediately the guy verbally barraged me before I'd even touched my mic. And, was threatening me, and I'm like, okay, you just need to calm down. I'm not up here to fight. I was seeing what's going on. Do we need to stand up again? And so then he was threatening me. I said, I'm out of here. You need to calm down. I wasn't being a threat to you at all. I was just seeing what was going on. One of my other guys, Attila, he was doing the same thing. He saw what was going on, ran up, jumped on the roof, just, was looking around, and before he could even say a word, the guy started verbally barraging him. He started to attack Attila, and Attila actually backed off to not attack him, to give him a chance to say, I'm not attacking you. And instead, the guy kept attacking Attila, and Attila killed him.
Well, okay, but in the same aspect is that if somebody was to jump on my house, I immediately go into aggressive mode as well, and I have.
But when the people who are,
and I can ask Loki and some of the other ones. I mean, I go full offensive. Don't trespass on my shit. I don't know what you're trying to do. I don't know if you're trying to scout my building to try to blow me up. Get the fuck away from my house.
But after somebody has talked to you and said, we're not here to fight, would you still continue to verbally barrage somebody and attack them?
Get off my house. If you get off my house, fine, so be it. But if you're standing on my roof and you refuse to get off, you're trespassing. I'm gonna kill you.
I think the main thing is we can't make this all about like right or wrong. Like that's the main thing about this. I want us all to be able to like war with each other and still have the council and us all be like friendly, but still like play a PvP war game and war against each other and each other's bases, and it not be like the end of the world. I want alliances to form and fall and change, and I don't want it to be like he did this, well he did that. I want it to just be like the Empire saw fit your fucking destruction. I don't know. Like I'm not in a good swing right now. I want there to be a culture of war and peace and alliance and betrayal and nonsense, and I don't want it to be like he attacked me, then that's bad. It's like I want shit to go down, and I want the fucking council to fucking take sides and people to like split up, and but the council still be there. You know what I mean?
You're talking about like the
inter alliances in the council come and go, and You know what I mean? I want some dynamism. I don't want us to become stale and unified. You know?
No, but
I don't want it to be like a moralist issue because we're all barbarians. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I also want to, basically, like, I want to forgive all any kind of past transgressions. New Asgard put a bad taste on the server right off the bat, and it brought a lot of negativity onto the server real quick. And I still think we're recovering from it. I think we looked at Kelador now as the new bad guy. Well, I want to forget all that and move on from that. I mean, we're all friends. I agree with you, Grim. I want to be able to create war games, have wars amongst each other. But like, I also want to set down ground rules to where don't wipe anybody out. Like, there's no reason to just take what you're going to take, but you don't need to destroy everything in somebody's base. Give them the opportunity to be able to recover so they can continue to play and continue to war on.
So Banter, here's actually a question about this because this is actually I don't know how many of the smaller groups on the server that you've talked to, but I've heard this complaint from at least 5 different groups that don't play on the server anymore, which was basically something to the effect that, and again, I agree with what Grim said entirely, that Kang and the rest of the admins should not have to enforce this, but at the same time, we should not, as a council, be enforcing or promulgating rules that we have no intention of enforcing. So the base destruction one was the biggest one that I'd heard complaints about, which is the admins won't do anything if my base is attacked. If I raided this guy, somebody could complain against me, but if they raid me to the ground, destroy all my crafting stations, then I can't claim anything. That was a big problem on the server, even before Asgarth PD. Because, I mean, I'm not sure, anybody in this room, all transgressions aside, people did that. That was an acceptable thing.
There are locked chests next to crafting benches. And honestly, it's not enforceable. And if you're like 60, you'll be all right. You know what I mean? Fucking build multiple bases.
I mean, not for nothing. I mean, prior to the wipe, Liquor Dogs raided us to the fucking ground.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing left.
Too.
Okay, what did we do, though? What did we do? We fucking just stay resilient, man. You just got to rebuild. Grim, you were talking about certain dynamics of the tribes and stuff. I think there is a certain dynamic. I could say right now about the Lost Vikings, Kaios, he's a more PvP based tribe. The Artisans, us, we're more of a trade based tribe. We're not an aggressor type tribe. Banter, I would say, is probably more of a fuck with me if you want type of tribe. You know what I mean? So it's different.
I don't think anyone would stand for Banter getting fucked with. I think we would all be like, that ain't right.
No, I know, but
well, see, that's terrible. Because I want to fight, goddammit, and I want to be able to fight.
But you help
No, you're not allowed to fight. We love you too much.
Hey, Banter, you can come fight me. I'll be up with that.
But on that context, that's actually something that the guys in our clan have been talking about. Is we're on a PvP server. We don't want to see that PvP leave, but we all know each other now. I think we have that mutual respect where don't stop the PvP on the server, but be respectful of each other.
Well, and that's all I'm asking. Be respectful. I'm not asking to end PvP, but
roleplay it.
Don't flame.
There shouldn't be just I'm going to attack you just to attack you. Well, create an RP reason why. RP this shit. We're an RP PvP server.
I think a lot of the problem was flaming. The new Asgarth people and the Liquor Dogs, they get real degenerate real fast. We couldn't enjoy.
Oh fuck yeah!
We couldn't enjoy the game.
The Liquor Dogs had another problem because Liquor Dogs, and this is actually something that if we're going to do the council thing, which I love the idea, there needs to be kind of a rule collective responsibility in the sense that, for example, I know that I was talking to, I think, Bass and a couple of the other guys when Liquor Dogs was being handled. They intentionally set up that tribe as essentially 5 or 6 different individual people, and they could all claim that, well, if that guy did something, if Muradin raided your base, well, then Bliznak wasn't responsible for it, so you can't attack the whole tribe, and he'll complain. You see what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing. So
no, if your clan does something, your clan's responsible. Period.
Oh, absolutely.
And by the way, what we also did learn is if you're gonna use an avatar, use Set, because Yogg does dog shit damage.
Set or Mitra. Mitra is fine too.
No, they both. We test them. They're both garbage. Set would have absolutely totaled that base.
So Set's gonna get nerfed. You know this, right? They're already.
The other one should be buffed. You know what I mean?
The other ones, yeah.
I mean, we dropped Yogg, right? And 3 attacks did about 2,000 damage. to his fucking walls. It was disgusting.
Well, Set right now like can do 14 attacks in a minute, and each attack does like a whole T3 wall. Set's broken.
Yeah, but we learned that day. We expected to go over there, drop Yogg, and just cripple them, and it was like, wow. But
different time. But I guess the real question, from me, my perspective on groups like this is enforceability. So, like, I know we're not here to make rules for the server, but the community standard that we all come up with has to have some teeth to it. So, for example, I'll give you guys a hypothetical. Level 30s and 40s tribe attacks the tribe that's comprised of 15s and 20s. How do you guys as a group want to collectively respond to that? And I had a couple of ideas. One, you could do what like NATO or the UN does, and overwhelming everybody in this group, declares war on somebody. Or you can kind of appoint like a champion. So, for example, somebody around their level. Let's say there's a group that's like primarily 30s and 40s. Somebody on the council who wants to get involved by choice says, "I'll be the champion for this guy who gets attacked," and they get appointed to basically conduct the war. So it's not like the whole server's against them.
Or you could just handle it passively.
Yeah,
and like this. Look, check this out. Or you could just hold on. They got hit. You just say, okay, we'll give them the supplies to rebuild.
Hold on.
So we're totally out of it.
I'm writing shit down for this, and that's actually a really, really good idea. The champion or the box. So hold on, just let me write this down.
I think somebody actually talked about that. What Bass is talking about, the base in the box idea, like the insurance almost, where like basically if like a newbie gets wiped, we can just say, here's like a 5x5 tier 1 or tier 2 or whatever in a box. Go rebuild this somewhere else, and somebody will be sent to take care of the guys who attacked you. Right?
I will say this though, because I'm worried that that's going to get exploited, and if we ended up getting griefers on the server, that people are just here to grief, I will permanently go down there and take them out.
Well, then that's fine. I think.
Here's the warning, though. We don't want that to be when a 60 hits another 60. That shouldn't be council level shit. You know what I mean? It should be fair. Like if any one of us attacks any one of the other, it shouldn't be that's amoral. He attacked me. That's hey man, back and forth, and I'll attack him back, and maybe I got 1 or 2 tight allies that'll help me, and they'll have 1 or 2 tight allies. But the main thing that this cannot be is a universal global military alliance. It just can't.
Well, the only thing that should be military alliance-wise is if somebody offline raids, and this is something that I suggested, is that if you're going to raid somebody, take a quick screenshot to show that there were people online when you started your attack. If those people log off, that's their problem. But if I don't want to deal with any offline raiders, and if somebody offline raids, I'm going to go down on hell upon them. So just letting anybody, I don't care if it's anybody here in the council at all. If I find out there's offline raiding, I'm going after you.
Zoe's going to offline raid you. That's it. She's just going to build a big wall around your base and box you.
Yeah, I've already started my landmine collection for your arena.
Yeah, just box you in and then log out so you can never offline raid.
So...
That's on them.
I don't think we should get involved with anything below level 50, to be honest.
Listen, I'm not talking about, by the way, let me just clarify this. I'm not talking about anybody in the sense of moralistic or liberation. What I'm talking about and what I'm trying, like I'm kind of on Grimm's point of this. I don't want, let's say I'm a PvP tribe and I have 4 or 5 members and I'm level 25 and I attack a level 45, right? And I don't want the entire server saying, you did something wrong, even if I broke the rules. Let's say I broke the rules. The entire members of this council coming and attacking me because it looks like the whole server is bullying me. What I prefer is one member of that, one member of that council or some volunteer saying, hey, you broke one of our community standards or whatever. We're declaring war on you. So it's not like 30 tribes are attacking you. It's one, it makes it seem more fair. That's the only thing. I want it to seem fair, even if the people are breaking the rules. Because here's the thing. Even if that happens, I feel like they could be rehabilitated. If it's a situation like PD, right? Those people, I mean, personally, I would say whole server get together and fucking get them out, right? 'Cause
And that's all we're talking
that's
about. We're
like
not
a
talking small petty shit. I'm talking about like PD bullshit.
yeah. If they show up, I think the whole server should kind of rally around and say these people are going to destroy the environment. They're going to destroy the whole culture. I'm talking like if there's rating violations, let's call it that. Somebody wipes somebody's base to the ground when our community standard says no,
Even the rules,
yeah, no complete destruction, right? Out of that, would all of us want to get involved with it? I don't think so. I don't think all eight of our tribes want to get involved with that.
I don't want to get involved in anything until level 50, to be honest with you. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think up until that point, from level 1 to level 50, you're learning the game. You're going to have to get hit now and then. It teaches you how to fucking rebuild and the dynamics.
I think it should be like griefing, like repeated, like not letting them play, like, you know what I mean? It should be like,
hit them once, allow them to rebuild. Give them time.
Yeah.
There's so much valuable lessons you get leveling up until that point. You know what I mean? That you kind of have to go through for growth in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, like I said, I agree. I don't think we should make it so that as soon as someone gets wiped, they can trigger this. I think it's a matter of, let's assume, and I'm not picking sides in the realm of Calidor thing, but assume a tribe was accused and actually did what they're being accused of. That's what I'm talking about. Where there's a single tribe doing what Realm of Calidor is accused of. We all know about it. We all agree on it, and they're saying, nope, we're not going to stop doing it. Now, we're not griefing anyone like PD was, but we still want to play on the server, and we're just really super aggressive. That's the only enforcement mechanism that I would really advocate for, because I think one of the guys who was talking like ROK was pushing somebody to the point where it was like a solo player where they would leave the server. And yeah, they have to learn to get hit, but at the same time, if you're not trying to engage in the PvP, you really should have kind of I'm not going to say an out, but a way of not being constantly fucked with.
I will say this though, is that if somebody comes on the server and they're all RP, I'm going to defend them at all costs. If they're what they're trying to do, you know, I'm not Scrab. I think was kind of a bullshit situation, but somebody like Scrab where they were like, I want to be this dye merchant, I want to be able to set up a shop. You know, they're not.
That's like Sage with the tax
should we
shop.
not?
I think that's 100% legit. Like that.
Should we not protect those people though? Because
I'm
like
going
Scrab
to.
and
No, we
whoever's
should.
doing the taxidermy, like they're single players. They aren't on here to fight. They're on here to run RP business.
Right.
And so I think that would be, you know, like we said, not rules, but under our culture of protecting that small guy who's just on here to RP, and instead of having their base like wiped out and die stole.
We're slave traders. You guys gonna protect us? That's nice. Thank you guys.
No, we disagree. We disagree with your source of income, man. We disagree with your source of income.
Yeah, but you can go down into like one of the RPer shops and RP it with them. Like you know, but if you're gonna
aggressiveness shouldn't be banned also. So like if there is like a just patently aggressive tribe, so be it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want that. I don't want like aggressiveness in and of itself shouldn't be like a problem. Like for instance, if New Asgarth PD didn't constantly flame global or like fight with the admins or
offline raid
server events. Well, the offline raid thing was getting a little unnerving. That's but it was usually like 4 a.m. shit. It was like 4 a.m. I'd log off at 3 a.m., wake up at 8 a.m., and boom, we were hit like at 4 or 5 a.m. Just like those motherfuckers. But that can't be done anymore with the new restrictions by King.
Right. But I mean, like I said though, I mean, if you want to raid somebody, just take a screenshot. If there's nobody online, wait for somebody to set up online or set something up. You know, if you guys want a war with somebody and you guys don't want your main bases to get fucked with, well, fine. Let's go set up an area over there in the desert near the gladiatorial arena, and you can build your little bases and fight there. Like,
I don't think we should be trying to police that though.
No, listen, but here's the thing.
Then it's just going to be like people
if I
crying.
find offline raid,
that was offline. But between us here in the council, we all have very big buildings that we put a lot of time into. So with us, I think it could be fair to open world PvP. If we see each other, you want to fight. That's fine. If you get the gear, you get the gear. Any one of us can make a new set. But as far as like the base raids, I'm with Lawless in the sense that, yo, let's go set some shit up and we'll set a time up and we could do it there.
Or if you want to attack my main base, make sure I'm online. Don't be a bitch about it. Let's fight.
Yeah, let's just have a culture of like because you can't make attacking people's main bases against the rules. You just can't.
Right.
But the thing is, let's have a culture of if we're gonna do that, let's fucking be like, you know, give me XYZ, or in 30 minutes, I'm gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? So then at least you're like making demands, and you're like, well, pay tribute, and you could say it's dickish or whatever, but that kind of gives rise to the ability to, one, prepare, and two, maybe give in to the demands. Be like, oh, well, you know, this 300 steel will be easier to give up than this guy attacking my base, and it might. Or you'd be like, no, the principle of it, I'm gonna stand up and fight. And
As long as you're not trying to pull liquor dogs and trying to tax me.
That's a good no, but that's a good idea of, you know, I want to come at you. This is my demands, and you have A, you fight for it. B, you say, here you go. I can always produce this. You know, no problem.
Or yeah, that way it's not offline to where like you know they're online, but we're not like policing it like, oh, that guy offlined me, but like we do this to ourselves where we give them an out where hey if you do this, then hey, problem solved, so crisis averted, or you know what I mean, but also gives them a timer of rally the troops and that type of thing.
Or would you be okay with me like, okay, Grim, you say you wanted to attack me hypothetically, and I'd be like, well, listen, I have to actually go in a half hour. You know, how about we shut this up for tomorrow? Just you know, we'll still raid or whatever's convenient for where everybody can be on or whatever, or you know, or at least I can be on to defend myself against your clan. You know, but if I have to go get off for 30 minutes, like I don't want to be like, well, he was online and then logged off. Like talk with the people and be like, hey, we're planning on raiding, you know, kind of thing, you know.
But that seems
it's
a bit too much like
let's
rules.
just have a
Yeah.
That is unfortunate. That's unenforceable. You're gonna have the Kang problem that he has with the base destruction. So like, I'll be honest with you. Well,
it's the same thing as having set raid timers. What Lolis just said.
Well,
so
not
I don't see a
exactly.
problem with that.
Not exactly, because what you're talking about is whitelisting raiding versus blacklisting raiding. What Kang's doing is saying you cannot raid between this time and this time. What we're talking about here is saying if you choose to raid, you must do it, and you must notify the other person and give them a fair
not
chance.
must but should kind of thing.
Well, yeah,
like
sure.
like a one way to keep like a good vibe. Like I'm not saying the last thing I want to do is have some kind of like anti-raid culture where we set up our big giant castles, no one's allowed to raid each other, and then the game's fucking boring because nothing's ever at stake. Like I understand the idea of maybe some people don't want to like raid between each other and you want to do just war games, but something's got to be at stake because that makes it fun. It makes you like worry about it, makes you build bigger and tougher. You know what I mean? Something has to be at stake. And I don't want it to be just like a bad guy. I want it to be like rivalries and like wars, and you know what I mean, and I want it to be all in good spirit, you know what I mean.
It's good spirited. That's what what I'm going to say. But if, you know, if somebody says, hey, look, I don't mind being raided, you know, like I don't mind being raided, but if I have to get off, don't be a dick. Like let me come back on tomorrow. Let's go. But
conversely, I don't want someone to be like use that line of argument to prevent a raid. You know what I mean?
Well, if it gets exploited, then it's fair game. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think it's just going to take.
I mean,
being adults on both sides.
I mean, Lolis, if anyone hits you, it's going to be while you're streaming, so it's filmed.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely when it filmed. You'll be online when it filmed.
Please.
Then we'll know if you really had to go. We'll see it. He just closes out the game, just fires up Minecraft. He's like, got those guys.
Yeah, my power went out, guys.
If I get raided, please don't, like, if I don't call for help, don't help me. Like, I don't, that's one thing I'm afraid about with my clan. Like, if I got attacked, everybody's like, well, we're going to jump in.
Well, you're right. It's hard, though. Y'all have been there for me so many times that it's hard to not instinctively come to Banter's aid. But no one fucks with you, so it's never come up.
That's
well, in realm of...
I'll go to have some fun. I was telling my father earlier where I was thinking about maybe just going to start on another server for just a little bit to get, you know, where I can run by and do my ninja bomb build and just run by and fuck with people's bases. I'm not killing anybody. I'm just fucking with people's bases. I'm going to put a bomb next to your base and run away.
Good God.
Just because I'm a dick.
What's really on your mind?
I'm just, like, I want to fight. I want to PvP, but like at the same time, I love you guys, so I don't want to, you know, you guys.
No, but that's my point exactly. Is I don't want there to be a culture of you're afraid to raid because you don't want to be a bad guy. I don't want raiding to make you inherently a bad guy. Like you should be able to go and fight people and bomb people's bases without it being like a server crime. You know what I mean? It should just be like it sucks to get raided and yeah, you don't want to rebuild and shit like that. But that's like the point? Like, why do you build big ass walls and defense systems and spike fences? Because like you're playing a tower defense fucking game. You know what I mean? You're like in your mind planning out people coming at you full bore and how you're gonna handle it.
And I'm
Well,
sorry, but any of us here, I mean, if our base got wrecked, it would take us, what, maybe 2 or 3 hours to get back up? I mean, honestly.
Yeah, now that we're 60, it's so much easier to gather shit. You just get your obsidian, someone can throw you tools, and it is not like, and we've got like 5 bases now. You know what I mean? It's at this point, shit is ever, well, you know.
Yeah,
Well, and
grossly misunderstand. A lot of us only have one.
Everybody get rebuilt too.
Right.
I mean, helping rebuild is totally different than warring. I mean, we want a war, and your stuff's going to come down. Okay, now everybody will chip in and help you rebuild.
As long as Bass's merchant shop stays open.
Yes.
No, Bass, you're first. You'll be first, Bass.
Hey, as long as the next day you're like, I could come in, I could be like, damn, you guys hit me pretty good, and you're good sports about it.
Oh, no, we want you there when it goes down. You know what I mean? Like, come in the next day, like, insinuate.
No,
like,
not me. I can't fight. You got to make sure K-Day's on. All right.
Oh my
God. Fuck him up.
No, but if somebody
you're first, Best.
As a culture, if somebody does get hit, give them a day to recover. Don't hit them again immediately. Give them a little bit of time to recover, stock back up, and then make it work. Let them make it work again for you.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would ask, honestly, if it's just Zoe on and it's me and Kay are not on, don't hit Zoe. She will have like a panic attack.
Hit them hard.
If it's me or Kay, do not worry about it.
That exhilaration.
But Zoe will have a panic attack if we're not on. She'll be spamming the Discord, guys. You need so.
Well, another thing that I kind of want to bring up when it comes to PvP is that there is like Zoe's arena that we all know that's off limits. Don't fuck with it. Don't go killing people in there unless you're dueling somebody. Okay.
The same with
Don't
this
let it be a
building.
base, though. Don't let it be a base. If it's an arena, make it an arena and not a base.
Oh, it's just an arena.
Oh, you never
The
seen
door's
it?
open.
It's like I haven't been down there, but don't have like your base as like a part of it or in it, because then it's like, oh, I'm protected by a server event.
No. It's an actual fucking gladiator arena. If you haven't been there, you need to go check it out. It's really, everyone loves it.
Yeah, I'll probably be there this evening.
Yeah,
that would be the same thing for this building here. You know, this is our common, no matter if we're at war, whatever, this is where we come
This is the
to
Council Tower.
talk. Yeah.
Well, because I have a build I want to do, and I'm going to build this giant dragon head, but I don't want to have to build it to where it has to be reinforced for raids. I want to build a giant dragon head tavern. But like
if the doors are open, then
I'm leaving the doors open. There's nothing in there.
I think that's how you can tell the difference between an RP structure and like a base is whether or not there are doors and locks.
Right.
The way I see it for rated is, if you're not going to get shit out of rated it, why even waste explosives on it? Like we said, the arena, why waste it? There's going to be nothing fucking in there to begin with. And your tavern, as long as people get the idea there's nothing
in our
in there.
base either. You don't worry about hitting.
Oh yeah, we'll see. We'll see tonight.
I know what's in your base, man.
I don't have nothing.
I'm gonna take a good look in there tonight.
I mean, half of everybody here has seen inside my base, so it's kind of fucked.
Nobody's seen the inside of our base. It's hidden.
It's like, yeah, I know where to blow up to get in the quickest. Yeah, so yeah, fuck you guys if you hit me and you've been inside.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I just want those tasty thralls.
Jesus. Yeah, so I gotta go tier 3 them shits as soon as I get out of here.
Oh, I got bombs ready, guys. Who wants to go with me?
Quick question, Havoc. So from what we've talked about so far, like I know you said you're taking notes here. Like, have we come up with any? I wouldn't call it like rules, but like a 10 commandments of best practices so far. Because I mean, right now the phase that we're talking about right now is basically how the council members relate to each other, which it seems like is a loose. I wouldn't call it an alliance. It was just like a loose community standard of people not fucking with other people, right?
I mean, it's a community.
Yeah, it's a community thing. So I'm assuming most of what you're talking about after this is how we respond to people who are either choosing not to participate in or for whatever reason have not gotten to the knowledge that this goes on. You see what I'm saying? Like, I doubt. I mean, maybe I'm speaking, on a limb here. I doubt anyone here is going to aggressively raid somebody for the purposes of driving them off the server. That seems unlikely to me. But I am very sure there will always be a new Asgarth PD or someone like them that comes on the server, or someone, let's say 2 or 3 steps toned down from them, who will do things very aggressively. And
If
you're gonna get
they're
complaints
stupid, if
generated
they're
from that.
stupid enough to attack multiple members on this council, they're dumb. They're gonna get wiped the fuck out. That's not my problem.
Here's the thing. We send Lawless, Grim, K-Day, and Attila, and Hilfy. All right? There we go. That's the war band right there.
Well, so you got to be careful there because this can't be a military alliance. It just can't be.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like what's happened is right now on the server, and I again might be going out on a limb here, that if any one of us are attacked and we ask for like, it's like, hey, this is happening, there will be somebody, at least one other of us, that will help out, and it will slowly. I mean, this is just meeting one, and we're already tiptoeing around it. It's going to become a military alliance unless you bring in other voices.
We got a war with each other. That's the thing.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even like you notice too, when them guys are hitting, we as a trading tribe, it kind of sucks. That's why we don't get involved in a lot of things, because if we side with a certain tribe over another, that then closes a trade route for thralls for us. So that's why the artisans, we try our damnedest to like stay neutral with everybody, because with anyone outside of this room, if we hit them with another tribe, then we have then shut that trade route off.
I feel like there's a certain number of people in here. For example, Bast, your tribe, anybody who's like Banter, perhaps you guys, people who are not primarily interested, or at least for whatever reason choose not to engage in the PvP unless there's a reservation. Like even Bast, you were dragged out of your trading house to deal with the liquor dogs, right? Banter, I'm assuming there's a point at which you will be dragged out of your house to deal with somebody, right? So until that threshold's reached, there are plenty of other groups, mine included, which will have a much lower threshold for getting involved in something. Like I know Grim right here.
I agree.
Like if like outside of
ready
polite
to get
company,
involved in something.
if I outside of polite company, if I turn this guy loose, man, he's going to knock on someone's
You'll be
door.
gone. You'll be like, I thought there were rules against that. Sorry, I don't know.
Right. So I guess what I'm saying is, I think we've already kind of by our own choices kind of made up our minds about this. Like for example, if there's a big server problem, I don't expect artisans to get involved with it. I don't expect Banter to get involved with it. I don't expect, the ones that I'm sure will is probably us, Lost Vikings, Nomad, the people who have kind of a more militaristic
PvP mentality.
Yeah, the PvP mentality, which that's, you've got your, I would call it the General Assembly and Security Council kind of thing. That's what it seems like. You've got.
But we have to
be able
to fight each other. Like we fought Nomad for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And that we did our conflict, it resolved, and like we can be amicable human beings. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want.
Like I said, that was legit territory war. Literally, territory trade changed hands. There was a deal, and actually, both of us were allied against PD, which is funny. But like that's, I would even prefer that because nobody really got butthurt over it. I mean, there were some harsh words exchanged, but it ended up.
Yeah, we were a
being
little
friendship.
harsh back and forth a little bit.
I mean, but it ended up being a friendship is the point. At the end of it, I don't have a problem with Ivan anymore. I don't think he has a problem with me. It's just in the middle of the war, it was tense like any war is. That's the model.
Wait, so are you telling me you were RPing? Is that what you're saying? You RP'd a little bit? Is that what you just told me?
What I'm telling you is that I RP. Yeah, just a little bit.
I can't. What am I trying to say? I want to be able to fight, and I hate the fact that I don't have, I have this whole stigma that I'm a PV fucking ear. So I'm coming.
We're going to war against everybody.
Look, all you gotta do is make some bombs and go fuck someone up. And say,
I have 200. Let's go.
Oh shit.
So all you gotta do is go use some of those bombs, and it'll be all right. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna hold on to this Jahunger horseshoe for a day or two until those bombs are gone. Yeah.
I'm all
like Bast here. You know what I mean? That'd be not a terrible target of all those bombs.
I'm just, if I attack you guys, I'm only really putting a hole in your wall. I want to draw you out. That's all I care to do. I'm going to draw you out. That's all I'm doing. So I don't really care. I don't need your guys' stuff. You guys don't really need my stuff. Yeah, there's threats. You guys can take my stuff if you guys raid me or whatever. But I don't need your shit. So I'm just coming there to fight you. Just letting you all know now.
Jesus.
But no, I mean, I as long as that we all, and this isn't like a war council. I just want to make sure that it's just creating a culture that there's an open communication with anybody, that we can resolve any drama issues, not in chat. Because I hate like the other day when the scrap thing went on for like 9 fucking hours. It was the most annoying thing in the universe. And shit like that. Like I just that doesn't need to be on the server. It paints a negative light in our community.
We can't try to moralize each other. That's where we go wrong. Is people are like, well, you shouldn't do this or you can't do that. It's like, all right, you did this, and we'll see. You know, and it should just end there. You know what I mean? And then like you handle things how you handle things.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like if you got raided and then like, you know, Grim decided to call. I raided Grim and he starts calling me in chat. You're a fucking pussy. You're a fucking
No, see, that's so dumb. That's dumb.
That's just childish. Like
you just be quiet. You go grab your bombs and you duke it out. You know what I mean? There's no. I say good fight at the end of each of my fights, win or lose. You know what I mean? And I keep it nice and amicable.
So actually, Havoc, here's kind of like another phase of this discussion that I kind of want. I was interested to hear you talking about. Has Kang, and I guess anybody can jump in here. Has Kang talked about exactly how much influence this group assembled here has over the administration? And I don't mean individual like banning and kicking. I don't care about that.
I think opposite. I think he was telling us to make sure to make sure that we have little influence.
So here's the thing. I actually disagree with that for a couple of reasons. I don't want us to be able to I don't want us to bully someone off the server. I'm not even talking about using the ban hammer. I am more talking about when or if the server was chosen to wipe. Are we able to influence that decision in any way? Because
I would like for us to be able to say that we can police our own self. Kang is only there for emergency issues only.
I'm not talking about policing, though. I'm talking more about quality of life things. So, for example, if decay or something like decay has to be turned on or off,
it is on.
Right. What I'm saying, like, if there's another setting that needs to be changed, like, remember how like the player logout bodies, that thing, it was basically everybody having to individually report to him. People are abusing this, right? Are we in a position where we can say, hey guys, this is eight of these council members, or how many ever tribes are represented here, have a problem with this server setting? Could you look into changing it? Rather than him having to hear it from me, from Vikings, from Bass, from everybody else, we can all get together.
Zoe has a pretty good relationship with him.
Yeah, I talked to him a little bit as well.
And I did as well.
Outside,
but the whole thing is like, I mean, but besides server settings, I mean, the only other server setting that should be implemented when they do release it is the whitelist. Those people who are here every day, all day, we need to be able to get on the server if the server's full. I mean, that's just...
Especially if it goes down to 40 or 50.
Exactly. A whitelist is important. But beyond that, like, what other settings are we talking about even thinking about changing? Because gather rate and experience shouldn't be changed at all.
It should never be changed. It should be lessened. It should be half as much.
I think the FPC
0.5 gather.
I honestly, the only thing I would like to change is make the FPC do more damage. Make it more of a challenge in PvE. Right now, PvE is fucking easy.
So, and for me, that's one of the ones you can talk about. But I'm more concerned, at least from my own tribe's perspective, on how frequently the server plans to wipe. Because I know I've talked to people who've played it since it was come out. It's wiped 5 times, right? The last one, the frequency, right?
What? It only wiped once.
No, it's wiped 5 times over the history server.
This server's been up for a while.
509 and then it wiped 528, but it's wiped 3 times before that. My question is,
wipes are healthy though. I mean like, I don't want it to be wiped every month, but if we all determine, hey, we're bored, we want to start over, let's wipe the shit. I don't know.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That decision. So let's say, Banter, you come up to the decision, you're in favor of a wipe, and 8 of the rest of us are not, and Kang is not, or the other way around. He wants to do one, but like 9 of us or 8 of us or all of us don't want it. That's the only thing. Because remember, there was this big debate that was in there, and people voted, and the vote ended up being the opposite of what happened. That's all I'm talking about.
Well, I'm open that with the council, because I mean he knows about the council, and I think he's going to respect it. And I think that if we all came to him politically correct, not like telling him what to do,
recommendations, whatever.
Yeah. I just posted what Kang said yesterday in Discord, and it's perfect. It's exactly what we want.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, like I said, that was my only concern.
Hide the weed.
Yeah. Okay, so
that was a joke. You didn't have to leave. Oh my god.
So, question about the taxidermy shop.
What the fuck?
When is the taxidermy shop going to be up? And are you basically going to have mounted heads that you could just buy? And if so, would you be willing to buy dragon heads? Like, if we went and farmed dragon heads, what kind of currency would you pay for that? Because I think that'd be a good way for us to make either bark, iron, whatever.
I think steel is the accepted currency, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But I mean,
I'm sorry, guys. You just missed it. Fucking Alden with the jump and he fucking died.
Oh, sorry. I'm still working out the details of the taxidermy shop. I'm only level 30 right now, so I can't really do too much. Like, dragon heads are a little bit out of my my skill, I believe.
so you need. Okay, so if you want, you can come to my base after this. I can get you a few journeys you probably don't have, just some pickup stuff. As well as probably give you some mats that'll help you level up quick. We could take care of that after this.
Okay, yeah, I was actually out headhunting before the council meeting, and I literally just happened to stumble across the place, and I was like, oh shit, there's a council meeting, I might as well sit in. But yeah, that's at 47 when I can do dragons. So I can do up to Highlands taxidermist. But I'm still working out the details and everything, still trying to get a vibe for the server, because I've only been on for 4 days, and I've also only been playing Conan Exiles for 4 days, so I'm pretty new.
What do you think about what you're hearing as far as being a new player?
Hearing about the server?
About what we're talking about, just the kind of vibe.
I mean, I think it's interesting. I really like learning about the politics of different servers and stuff. It seems a lot stricter than different servers of different games that I've played on, but that's not really that much of an issue. I mean, you guys all seem pretty cool. You guys, you intimidate me a lot because a lot of you are veterans to the game. Yeah.
That's just Lawless. He's the one you have to look out for. He's the one with all the bombs.
Lawless is the intimidating one.
Well, Sage, as long as your boys, because you're in the Thunderwalkers clan.
Yeah.
I've killed a couple of your members only because they came to my front door and asked for asked for tribute, and I wasn't going to play that game.
Lawless, you also have to understand that the first day they played this game, they had no idea what they were doing, and they didn't understand that you guys were level 60 while they were level 5 and running around naked.
I thought that was funny. So I haven't gone after you guys since. I just, I thought it was funny, and I felt bad, but at the same time, I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm not doing another Flicker Dogs again, damn it.
They had a realization the next day when they were like, wait a second, everyone on here is really high leveled. Why were we running around naked demanding tribute from everyone?
Well,
y'all gotta level up.
It's kind of unfair because me and Grim, we can hit 60. If they server wipe, we and Grim probably hit 60 in 2 days now.
Yeah, I'm kind of a crackhead. I'm pretty sure I was server first.
There's always going to be high level on the server. I mean, but I want to give space for new groups to come in that have the opportunity to play around. And
I've never dicked with lobies. There's no fucking reason to do that.
Yeah. Well, but if they come on my front doorstep, or attack me,
they could try. My doorstep's fucking huge. They couldn't. Well, they could just beat on my walls with their fists.
There's a guild in the jungle, G2A, and Calidor was a little bit guilty of it too, but every time I go to the jungle, I get attacked. But they're always level 20, level 25. I'm like, what are you doing? But so be it.
Yeah, I don't think they meant actual harm from doing that. I think that they were just two dudes dicking around, not really knowing what they were doing. But they pretty much had the realization the next day of, oh, we're dumb. We shouldn't have done that. But they learned their lessons. I'm glad you taught them the hard way. Because
So what do we
otherwise
learn?
they'd probably still be
Yeah,
running around
yeah.
naked demanding tribute from everyone.
You don't go to the Black Ice building in the north to the level 60 naked and say, we demand tribute.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
when we set up, we had people coming to our base and saying like, you've been a thorn in people's backs, and we're like, oh yeah, sorry about that.
What tribe?
Thunderclap.
Well, they also
No, I took my big giant sword and I shoved it up his ass.
He gave him something.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Banter.
One other thing that I would kind of like to bring up is that in the north, I don't think that here, especially around New Asgard or even in the snow, if I see a tier 1 building out here, I don't care whose it is. If it's tier 1, I'm blowing it up. I don't like this sandstone. There's no sandstone in the north. Clearing it out.
Right. So everybody, go get sandstone.
Crusade.
Yep, go get sandstone.
Better not touch my sandstone.
Do it, Banter. Do it. Take all those 200 bombs. Cleanse the north.
You must be worthy of being in the northern lands.
Oh, but wait, my slave buildings are tier 1. Oh shit.
Yeah, I was about to say Grim about it. I think
Arts
one of
all
the
got
things
tier
that like
1.
half of like Lost Vikings base might be a problem.
Hey, don't fuck with my shit, mate.
Hey, I'm not talking about you personally.
Hey, I gave Vikings so much stone. I think I've earned the right to put a hole in it if I wanted to.
Oh.
I got enough bombs to put a hole in your fucking building.
Wait, Grim, so it begins, Grim. Grim, here it begins. Here it begins.
Maybe one hole, but
let's see it. We're picking sides.
No, Grim, all we have to do is you've got to have the most unlikely people fight, so it's going to be Banter and Zoe are going to fight each other. That's what's going to be. We're going to have Banter go and raid.
Me and Zoe will fight, but we'll fight with Trebuchons. We'll just pull out our fucking things and knock each other out.
You get a star metal repair hammer and just fight with that.
I do want to set up an incident with somebody here in the next week or so where I want to kidnap somebody.
What?
Oh, Zoe. Kidnap
I want a kid.
Is
What?
this some kind of fetish?
Yeah,
no, it's just I want to bring drama to, or not drama towards me. I want to bring action to me. So
Lawless,
home.
I think Sage just volunteered herself.
No.
I'll play along.
Not what I said.
Is that a fetish? I'll play along.
I'll play along.
I just want to create little war games, and that's all I care about. I just want to have fun, and I don't want any I want to be able to have fun. I want people to have fun, but I want everybody to know, hey, this is what I'm doing. Just a heads up. So if you want to play along, let's play. If not, let me know. So
You just gotta know hard feelings fight people. That's it. You know what I mean? You gotta be like, hey, it's a fight game. You know what I mean? And don't even feel bad.
take the throws, take the steal, fuck off.
Hard speaking from experience. That motherfucker's been raided so often.
I'll take bomb materials.
You guys don't really need thralls.
Is House Manister still playing?
Steal. I mean, come on now.
Well,
You realize,
here's the reason why. If you're at war with somebody, right? Are you going to leave them resources that they're going to use? Maybe not thralls and steel, but bombs or grease orbs or something. I don't need those, right? Like, am I required to leave shit that they can use against me?
No. I'm talking about don't despawn my die box, damn it. Leave my dies alone. That's not doing anything.
If you want to come and throw
throwing your dice on the ground.
If you want to come and throw pink die orbs at the wall or something, you could do that. Like I don't care. I'll leave the die box. You can keep the.
But
throw those dice right on the ground.
We're just saying, like, if there's things that, you don't take the steel, take the thralls, or take the bombs, take any of the tar that you're gonna, you obviously there's no reason for you to take away all the leather because I'm sorry, all of us have what 15,000 plus leather.
Yeah.
Don't really want to talk about
what I'm getting from this is Bass is gonna raid us all, take his thralls back, and try and resell to us.
We gotta fight back. We gotta unify together.
No, what I'm getting from this is that you guys are only interested in steel and thralls, and I'm gonna start moving shit.
Yeah, I think Bass.
Thralls and steel specifically.
Last night.
Who has all the thralls and steel on the server?
Oh god.
Yep.
It only makes sense.
War Bass.
I'm putting up a god shield tonight.
Hey, Bass, let's hit it right now, Wither. Let's hit him right now, dude.
Okay, sure.
Let's hit him while they're in the meeting. I'm going right now. You ready?
Okay. You heard it.
All right, I'm in a room with all them by myself, and you
I know.
just said that, so I'm gonna slowly.
That was the master
find
plan. It was a great job
elevator.
making this council, dude.
It was good talk, guys. Very good chat.
Is there any other business that we need to bring out? And then if any business is here, we should at least get it. Having you said you were writing notes, let's make sure it's kind of posted so that the other clan leaders can see what was talked about. And let's leave a door open. And if anybody has any issues or concerns and talks about it, they can have an opportunity to talk about it. And we'll all have open heart to listen. All right.
I'm gonna get started on the iron
leaves.
insulated wood for the tier 2 bases.
I actually
Get
had
that
a
started.
suggestion, because you were talking about it earlier. I was just kind of too scared to say something. Is there something like a server marketplace we could set up, like a farmer's market type
It was
deal?
actually brought up last week about setting that up.
Okay.
Bass wanted to do that.
Or earlier the week.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool idea, because I could move my taxidermy shop if we did something like that, like a server-wide farmers market, where like once or twice a week we could open it up and have people just, you know.
Can we do that by the arena, guys? You think, and have that as like the community RP area, being that the arena's already kind of.
Yeah, why
I'm
not?
fine with that.
I'm fine with that too, because there's nothing there, so there's no reason for us to be there except for that. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Sage, if you wanna come with me, I'll bring you to the base, get you some levels, and then
Yeah,
I'll show you where this-
I have poor Beargon waiting outside for me this whole time because he was helping me headhunt, and he's been messaging me like, "Oh God, I'm so bored. What do I do?"
So Bass was talking about running away, so I took the elevator.
Damn it!
Fucking goddamn it! You just
One last
There
thing
we
for
go.
you guys, and this is again this is not anything for this meeting. For next meeting, if you guys have any like proposals or anything that if you can like maybe give them to Havoc or something before, so we can have like an agenda to talk about, just in terms of like a docket of things to deal with. That way, it's a little bit more organized.
Yeah,
my God.
definitely do
Who's
that,
downstairs?
and I'll write them up.
Grim, we're about to kill somebody down there. You know this, right? Whoever that is.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Oh. Motherfuckers.
Let's see if you make it down here.
God. Oh, I'll make it down there, even if I gotta freaking die and come back.
Can't see me. Darkness.
I think we're. I will see the rest of you later. Nice talk, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see everybody at the event tonight.
Alright. Good talks, guys. Good talks.
Alright. Damn. Someone didn't make it down. Lois, don't be swinging that big sword around. Alright, Sage, you and your friend ready to go?
Hey, did you grab my thralls from the wheel, the ones that were cooking last night? Joe?
No.
Okay.
Hey, Sage.
Sage, are you here?
The girl's gone, guys. Everyone relax. Everyone chill. Everyone can chill out now.
Wow. Wow.
Fucking virgins.
Wow. You?
You shut your mouth, sailor.
Alright.
Be sneaking up on me like that. Alright, that was you calling me, right? Okay. Yeah, I was talking to fucking Tiff. We should make a penis base. Yeah, our base should be shaped like a penis. Do we have an entertainer here? Well, shit. I got full corruption. Uh-huh. I fucking used the map room. Bast, for some reason, I guess he thought, like, I didn't have the journeys. Or maybe he just wanted me to walk with him. But he wanted me to walk with him down to his base to give Sage and Sage's friend a bunch of fucking journeys. So I walked down there with him. And I teleported, and then Tiff called me, so I teleported home. Well, I teleported across the bridge and logged out thinking, yeah, so I got full fucking corruption right now. I'm not sure if Art was supposed to mute his mic or not, but you guys are gonna give me nightmares. Art, where's all the steel? Fucking shit. Hello. What's up? Playing League. Trying to get some practice in so that I know what the fuck I'm doing, at least a little bit. I haven't the slightest idea. Hello? Hi. Nothing. Yeah, I didn't expect to. you. Fucking shit. Fuck, man. Thank you. No, I really like this game and I want to get good at it. There's not really much for us to do at the moment. I'll be right back. Hello?
Hey guys, it's Nicole from Mom Versus, and today we are at one of my favorite places to shop, Aldi. I'm going to show you how I do it for a family of 5. Let's go. Don't forget your quarter. Everyone knows this little trick. This is like renting your buggy. Put your quarter in, but don't worry, you'll get it back. So let's go. Right when you walk in, they always have this little specialty section, and it's always stuff that you probably don't need, but it's fun, so I usually end up impulse buying at least one thing from this section. Like pesto bow tie pasta crackers. How cute are those? They're $1.99. I can do that.
Hello? Playing League? Okay.